Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ subscribe hete.
Face TV was Swoby.
What is Igbo's purported offense? That he said his people were being killed by Fulani herdsmen, and that enough is enough, and that they needed to defend themselves. And there is no evidence that he has killed one soul, none that I'm aware of. If anybody knows, then let them present it to the international community. I don't think he has killed anybody. He has been in his house. He's not in the forest like the terrorists who have been in the forest, who openly display their weapons of mass destruction before the media, before Sheikh Gumi, before the police, before the army. They are there. They know their location. Sheikh Gumi drives in and out of the bush to go and negotiate with them. Nobody has made any effort to arrest or to attack them or to even call them their true name, which is you are a terrorist. Nobody has done that so far. So it's going to be argued that Sunday Igboho is being persecuted because if you read all those who have supported the government, they are saying because he is preaching secession. So I'm going to address that in a minute too. So is it illegal for someone to say, I am tired of a country? You see, a country, the citizens of a country are in a marriage, especially in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious country such as ours. It's a marriage. And a marriage is expected to be convenient for the parties involved in the marriage. Okay? A marriage. One of the reasons why a marriage can be dissolved is when it becomes inconvenient for either or both parties. As a matter of fact, the easiest way to dissolve a marriage is when there is what they call irreconcilable differences. For example, husband and wife can say, in the last 3 years, we have not slept in the same bed. We have not conjugated. We have not respected each other. We have been slapping each other in the house in the presence of the children. And we are tired of doing this. And we want to go our separate ways. It's as simple as that. Where Sunday Igboho and other agitators become liable is when they carry weapons and wage war against their country. What they are doing now is a dream. Anybody can dream. People are dreaming of paradise. There are Christians who are dreaming that when they die, they will go to paradise. Nobody has been to paradise and back. It's a dream. Those who want the Yoruba nation, they are dreamers. They are dreaming of a better nation where they will not be treated as second class and third class citizens. It's a dream. It remains a dream. Carrying placard. If tomorrow I decide I am tired of Nigeria and I carry a placard and I say I am tired of Nigeria, you cannot prosecute me for that. It's my wish. It's my dream. Even today, I've just posted Professor Wole Soyinka saying that if Nigeria continues at this speed and we don't decentralize urgently, there is nobody who can guarantee the survival of Nigeria. So you cannot say Soyinka has committed an offense and then you want to go and arrest him. It's a dream. The people that you need to pursue are those who have carried weapons against Nigeria and Nigerians. People who have shot down multi-million-dollar fighter jets. Those are the real criminals. But for someone who is dreaming of a Yoruba nation, let him dream. And I like to cite the example of the Irish Republican Army. Go and read the story of the Republic of Ireland and all the trouble that they went through. They had a political wing called Sinn Féin. Go and check the stories. The government had to negotiate with them. The people of Britain decided that they are tired of Europe. I was one of those who said, but why are they pulling out of a bigger economy, bigger union? And they had a referendum. And during the referendum, overwhelmingly, people voted to pull out of Europe. Nobody called them, they are unpatriotic, they are this, they are that. No. There is no law that says you must be a part of a country by fire, by force. As I said, except where you carry weapons against your country, everybody has a right to dream. So if tomorrow I am tired of my wife, I should be able to tell my wife I am tired, and my wife cannot say, "Oh, you are going nowhere," because when we signed in the law court, in the court registrar, we signed in the register that to death do us part. No, a marriage cannot be by force. So there are those of us who believe in Nigeria. I contested to be president of Nigeria, but if and when I get tired, and it's looking like everybody is getting tired, then we talk. If you cannot commit a crime by saying your mind, this is where those who are attacking the agitators are missing the point. If you don't want them to agitate, if you don't want them to say they are going, then show them some love. It's simple. No matter what you say today, they have turned Sunday Igboho into a folk hero. His name, he has joined the pantheon of Yoruba gods. Shango Olukoso Okoya, Oromia, and the rest of them. He has joined them. He has joined them. Either advertently or inadvertently. Government has played into his hand, and now they have apotheosized this gentleman. Sunday Igboho on his own, what can he do? What can he do? But the man was brave, the man was bold to speak. There is nothing he spoke that the Sheikh Gumis and others have not spoken. So, if I will advise this government, as I always do, and it's just a pity because I don't even know if the president is aware of some of these things, but if I have access to him, I will advise that I say leave the Sunday Igbohos alone. In fact, the Sunday Igbohos are not the problems of Nigeria. They are not the problems of Nigeria, because those who talk, it means that they are only dreaming. It means they are only talking. Those who don't talk, they are the ones you should be careful about. The dangerous people are those who don't talk. They are the plotters. They don't talk. They will not come in public and say their minds. Igboho never left his house until you invaded his house. So somebody wants to fight government, will he sit down at home and wait for you? But when he saw the avalanche of weapons facing his house, he took off. He took off. The Yoruba service said, it's a man who has not seen a war, who calls himself a man. He took off. So a man who wants to fight government will not take off and travel abroad. The man, all he was doing was to rally his people to say, no, you cannot just sit down in your farmlands and allow these Fulani herdsmen to come and ravage your farmlands, to come and rape your daughters and your wives, to come and kill your people, and the police will not do jack. That's all. That's all he has done. That's all he has done. So, for those who talk about asylum, again, I applied for asylum, and I wish to publicly once again thank the British government. They gave me fair hearing. I sat through an interview, myself and my wife. She did not speak because I was applying on behalf of the family. I had suitcases with me showing my work, my writings, videos of my activities in Nigeria. In fact, the lady who interviewed me told me he's been in the Home Office for about 20 years. He has never seen a case as straightforward as mine. And I was absolutely certain that I'll be granted asylum. I don't know of how many people, I don't know of anybody who had full asylum like I did. I was granted full asylum with my entire family. And I'm very grateful, eternally grateful to the British government. They gave us maximum protection. They gave us everything that we needed. So I needed to speak up as someone who has gone through it before. And if Igbo's lawyers are successful on Monday, he may be allowed to go. He may be allowed to go. I don't know where his final destination was when he was traveling with his wife, but it's obvious that his wife, both of them, had German passports, and if so, I'm sure they'll be able to settle in Germany. And then the government can go to rest. At least they know one of their so-called enemies will be out of the way. In Germany, the German government will not allow them to wage any war against anybody or any country. So, like William Shakespeare would have put it, all is well that ends well. I don't know why we are expending too much energy on pursuing people who have not carried weapons, when those who are shooting down, fighter jets are sitting pretty in their evil forests. I don't know why. So my advice again to President Muhammadu Buhari is that, look, you have too many problems in your hands. Begin to reduce it one by one. You don't need all this stress. As I said, the president has less than 2 years to go, unless there is a plan that we are not aware of. So by now, any government should be winding down. I know of a governor in the South who has already left the government house. He said, I have less than 2 years to go. I don't want to get too comfortable in the government house. I'm going to my house. The governor Nyesom Wike has already moved to his house. He's already launching and commissioning his projects and showing it to the whole world to say, this is my legacy. And that is what I expect the government to be doing now. I traveled through Lagos-Ibadan Express in the last few days. In fact, when we were coming back, we had to leave Ibadan at 5 a.m. because just that road, which happens to be, for me, the most important road in Nigeria, linking the nerve center of business, of commerce, Lagos, to the rest of Nigeria, in 6 years, it has not been completed. Some people spend 12 hours driving on that road. If our government, that will concern me. In fact, the more government can do now to show the seriousness of its activities, the better, because the government has less than 2 years. I'm aware that the government is saying, nobody can remove them in 2023, nobody can do this, nobody can do that, nobody. Don't worry about whether anybody can remove it in 2023 or not. Just do what you can. Just do what you can. If I were the president right now, in fact, as I'm pursuing the criminals, I'll be pursuing my projects. Because right now it's like we've abdicated, governance totally. And everything, all we're talking about now is Sunday Igboho or Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or any of these people. I am telling you, government can handle these things better. If the government can learn about truth and reconciliation in South Africa, what happened? If Nelson Mandela was a Nigerian, he would have killed all his enemies when he came out of prison after 27 years. He didn't do that. The president of the nation is the father of the nation. So carry your children along, carry everybody along, and you will enjoy maximum cooperation. You will be comfortable yourself. But some people are pushing the president. They are telling him they are your enemies. They hate you. And then you begin to conjure up images of enemies from everywhere, even where they did not exist. You can't do that. You can't do that. So, my prayer is that those hawks who litter the corridors of power would leave the president alone. Okay? I hope they will leave the president alone and let this man enjoy the remaining time of his tenure. Less than 2 years to go. Do they realize it? Now, you can't do Twitter, you can't do this, you can't talk. If you talk, just 2 years to go, less than 2 years. Is that the priority? I don't understand. I don't understand. So, we're waiting for Monday to come, inshallah, and we will see what will happen. But no matter what happens, trust me, I've told you, I think it was early last week or week before, I told you, don't worry. God is a Nigerian. We've always said that. God is a Nigerian. Everything will be resolved peacefully, quietly. When we think we have reached the dead end, something always happens. Something always happens. I'm sure God will enter the hearts of President Buhari and our leaders, and they will realize that there is no point fighting anybody.
Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.